Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. It's me, Satalgeese, casting another of the CMU versus University of Toronto games. This is game number 3. You may note that there is no game number 2, and I suppose I should go ahead and start the game. There is no game number 2. It was not included on the replay pack. If you follow the link included at the bottom of each of my videos to the CSL webpage, and I don't recommend following that link until you finish watching all the games because there are spoilers. You will note that there also is the game 2 just wasn't played, and this is not the first time this has happened. I believe there were a couple other games where that didn't happen. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the players. Let's throw down that production tab. Playing for Carnegie Mellon University, we do have Kimjongil, aka Peter Masters, playing as the Red Zerg, and yankjenets, aka Daniel Deutsch, playing as the Teal Terran. And personally, teal is my favorite color in StarCraft 2 because that's the color of the Talgeese Gundam. Holy crap, that's just such a throwback. Anyways, playing for University of Toronto, we have BnYSooch playing as the Orange Zerg, aka Colin Suchulam, and playing as, oh man, this guy again, xORawwwrmill, the Blue Terran. We have Ramil Mustafa, and he is now known as Mill because his name is super long, so it does look like this is going to be happening on Scorched Haven. This is a very old 2 versus 2 map. I'm not sure if this was actually in Season 1 of the ladder, but it wouldn't surprise me just because this map is so old. So it does look like we have Kimjongil grabbing a quick gas first. Probably same thing from BnYSooch. Yes, Sooch actually grabbing that pool seconds before Kimjongil. Looks like we just take a look at the units tab. Both of the Zergs are doing the same thing. Both of the Terrans are doing the same thing. So we do have a quick scout from Kimjongil, just wanting to see if he can do anything. Another SCV also from a yankjenets. Just a little bit of teamwork there, trying to harass that SCV, getting dangerously low, probably about to die, and no, just decides to pull back and scout the opponent. So yankjenets did grab his gas, same thing from Mill, but Mill currently only has one of his harvesters in gas, so probably just going to be seeing a tech lab or potentially a reactor. And then a lot of Marines, maybe a quick command center. So you'll notice with this map that both of the bases, and we do have the spawning pools finished, both of the bases for both players open out, angled inwards towards their natural expansion. So you'll see down here these two expansions are side by side, and there is one very solid wall right here, the one opening to both of the bases. So what is a popular strategy, what I have seen before, is players just, oh, I'm not sure if these units are going to be able to kill it. A little bit of micro might get the drone, and oh, the SCV does die. The drone now is forced to run away. What a couple players do, funny, is drop buildings to wall off this sort of area right down here, so you can create a little bit of wall and get that fast expansion. And it actually looks like we have Sooch grabbing the expansion anyways, saying, I don't need to wall off because I'm too good for that. So we do have a couple Marines and Zerglings now headed out across the map. Both of the Zerg players have started speed at the exact same time. So it's 6 Zerglings and 2 Marines against 6 Zerglings and 2 Marines. And we do have 2 more Zerglings. They may be able to turn the tide of the battle. And here we go. Here's the engage. The Marines actually getting the first shot off on the Zerglings. That's kind of big. So Kimjongil really needs to be careful and just micro his Zerglings very carefully. Oh no, the Zerglings for our Teal Terran yankjenets actually did go down, so we do have a large number of Marines and Zerglings from Sooch and Mill now running into Kimjongil's base. So this is actually pretty bad. A lot of Zerglings now being made. We do have a Baneling nest in production, but these drones need to be careful. Losing that drone count is so critical. And actually that drone does manage to make it out alive. The queen goes down. That's going to be painful. Just having that spawn larva, not having that spawn larva anymore is so painful to an early game Zerg. Those extra units are so important, especially when Terran can do things like get reactored Hellions, or the other Zerg can do things like spawn larva. So getting those extra units is really big. Sooch really getting a comfortable lead and advantage by taking out that queen. So meanwhile, Kimjongil did take that expansion. There was, it sounded like some Zerglings exploding, and it looks like CMU is going to sit on the defensive for now, maybe roast a few of these Banelings with the Hellions. No, here come the Zerglings. The yankjenets needs to be careful. There we go. We do have Hellions for Mill now also going out to counter. It does look like Sooch and Mill are going to try to put on some pressure. They may even actually just be able to get this hatchery And oh, here we go. Here come the Zerglings now just cleaning up. And the Banelings, will they detonate on each other? The Hellions are going to try to roast them. Oh, some excellent micro from our Kimjongil is able to take out those Banelings, losing only 2 or 3 Zerglings, but he did lose a lot of other Zerglings to those Hellions, so non-stop aggression in this early game. We already see more Zerglings and Hellions rallied into the middle of the map to continue putting on pressure. I can barely even talk about what's going on to the game because there's so much. And we do see these Hellions are going to roast away at the other Hellions. The Banelings are now on their way in. Oh, one Hellion does go down, and oh, the Zerglings do need to be careful. Those Banelings can do a lot of damage. Excellent splitting going down from Kimjongil. He will get that Baneling, and now we see Spinecrawler for defense, and yeah, it does look like things have settled down just a little bit. It does look like CMU is finally pushing University of Toronto back. So these Hellions are going to have to be careful with that Marauder and Marine there. We do see a couple Zerglings now to try to see if they can get a surround on those Hellions. I'm not sure I agree with counterattack from CMU. And if for any of you viewers are wondering what high-level 2 versus 2 play is like, this would be it. Very, very fast-paced, non-stop combat. Because 2 players can produce units twice as quickly as 1 player, you see a lot of faster aggression as both players are just trying to out-control and micro one another with just a little bit more control. So we actually did see an expansion go down for Mill, and an expansion already just finished for yankjenets. So it does look like CMU is in the lead, but I can't exactly say that because I cannot look at supplies. So let's see, 33 plus 51 is 84 to 36 plus 50. So both players about even, both teams 86 supply to 84 supply. So really, it's just a question of income. We take a look at harvesters. We do have CMU, Kimjongil, and yankjenets are sitting pretty comfortably ahead in terms of harvesters, just because yankjenets has been producing non-stop SCVs with some excellent macro. So we're probably going to be seeing a whole bunch of buildings go down pretty soon. We already do have 3 barracks along with combat shields on the way. I don't know if Stim is finished. Yes, Stim is indeed finished for the Marines, so they will be able to do twice as much damage and move twice as quickly, or I believe it's like 1.5 times as much damage. So now we have some Hellions now moving out, probably just going to scout around the map. Neither team feeling comfortable moving out and taking those watchtowers just because, oh, there we go. And now we do see the Zerglings finally getting a little bit of map control, and Kimjongil doing the exact same thing. So these Hellions are actually running around. They are going to run right into the other Hellions for yankjenets, which are repaired, whereas xORawwwrmill does not have his repaired, so we do have an Overlord scouting just ahead. So yeah, it looks like we're actually transitioning into a 2v2 mid-game. This is awesome. I've never seen anything like this before. The last 2v2 I casted that was remotely long was just non-stop combat where I was talking and talking and talking for such a long time. Looks like we're going to see a couple of medevacs go out now. We have 2 barracks and medevac, along with, oh boy, a lot more production structures, reactor medevacs, along with a couple more Marines. So it looks like we're going to see a pretty awesome composition. Oh, we see a Spire going down for both of the Zergs. 2v2 is just so great for Spire play, this map in particular, because there is so much dead space around the map. We did see an Overlord just scout around. Did see that layer. I don't believe he saw the Spire. Let's see. No, the Spire's all the way down here. So for those Mutalisks, there's so much dead space. Just to show you guys where I am right now, here's the entrance to the main. You can fly all the way around this massive surface area. Look at this, and you're still coming around. And now you're coming right into the mineral line. So with those Mutalisks, you can fly straight in across and have vision of what's going on there. We see Kimjongil scouting, seeing everything that's going on. Going to see some reactor medevacs and sees the Marines now, so probably going to get that Overseer out of there. And then from the main mineral line, oh man, look at all that production going down for yankjenets. I'm just going to go to the units tab. That's taking up so much room. So from the main mineral line, you are able to just literally walk right on down into the natural. So as far as unit control, you do need to keep your anti-air relatively well close together. And look at this, all these Overlords spread all around the map. They really need to try to start pulling back now that we do see a couple 13 mutas in production for Kimjongil, only 9 for BnYSooch, and Kimjongil actually grabbing Flyer Attack, whereas Sooch is grabbing Flyer Carapace. Now, oh no, just ground Carapace, not even grabbing any aerial upgrades. So, I'm not sure. And here we go. Here come the Mutalisks now, scouting their way across the map. Going to see if they can do any damage. Let's see if we can set the camera to follow. As far as upgrades for aerial units in Zerg versus Zerg, and the Mutalisks actually fly right into each other, and Sooch immediately knows he has the smaller number and backs away, so he pulls those Mutalisks for Kimjongil into the Marines for his opponent. So we do see some Zerglings now scouting around, a little bit of creep being spread, and here we go. Now the Mutalisks are moving back out. Oh no, these Mutalisks look like they might fly. Oh, they're catching the Hellions for yankjenets out of position, but it does look like these Mutalisks might fly right into that Marine. A stim goes down to try to catch him, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as the Mutalisks now for Kimjongil look like they might engage. Oh, the Mutalisks for Sooch taking some big damage, really not getting up to that critical Mutalisk number count where they can just kill things super, super quickly with the splash damage even. So a medevac actually going and healing those Mutalisks, that's pretty awesome, as they're just running around the map. We do have a couple of banelings now scouting out. We did see a third drop down for both of our Zerg players, and it does look like we're about to see some action going down. yankjenets sieging up a tank, comfortable with his Marine count. We just take a look at the supply, 141 to 105. So, it looks like there was a drop of Marines that is going to be cleaned up pretty quick by these Zerglings, but it looks like a lot of SCVs were killed unless they were all pulled. No, it definitely looks like a lot of, oh no, there's a large number. There's 16 SCVs that are all rallied to go back. A little bit of rally control there. We do have a lot of banelings waddling their way across the map as the siege tanks now start bombarding each other, and we have a couple Marines now running out. A little bit of miscontrol, but Mill pulls back at the last second. So CMU really posturing themselves up in a great position. We do now have that Mutalisk versus Mutalisk combat. That +1 is going to be so huge in this Muta v Muta combat. So, here we go. Kimjongil now looking like he's going to try to pick off a siege tank. He does manage to get one. Oh, that's so painful. And it does look like RIT is engaging. The banelings are exploding on banelings. Huge baneling hits going down. Kimjongil needs to pull back to the support of the siege tanks. The siege tanks need to clean up the Marines for Mill, but it does look like there are so many Marines. The Mutalisks now forced to engage the Marines because there are no more Marines for yankjenets, and this is cleaned up excellently from Mill. I'm not sure how they did it, if they just overwhelmed in supply or just walked right through, but yeah, it looks like University of Toronto is just going to try counterattacking. No, I don't recommend sitting here. They did just clear up a very, very large army from their opponents. I'm not sure I agree with just sitting there now. So especially now that the Mutalisk count for Kimjongil has fallen so low, this is an excellent time. Oh, we see a lot of Overlords are now rallied into the middle of the map. Those are going to have to be careful, and it looks like we may have another drop going on. No, 2 empty medevacs. That's not quite right. So these Mutalisks are now going to try to fly into the third for Sooch. They are going to take out an Overlord and then go to the Queen. The Queen does manage to kill one of the Mutalisks, and there is a large number now. I don't think that this is going to be such a good idea. Oh, the banelings now are caught out of position. Some more drones. Let's see, just camping on that little ramp down there. We do have a couple Marines stimmed to try to clean that up. I don't think these Marines will be enough. They'll be able to do a lot of damage, but I don't think it'll be enough. So if we just take a look at the upgrades, it is 1-to-1 for Mill. Let's see, and 0-to-1 for Sooch. Meanwhile, we do have yankjenets. Oh no, and it does look like Mill is going to go take out the third for Kimjongil. So he's really caught in a bad position now. Oh no, his Mill actually has the better concave right there. Oh, and we do have a bunch of Zerglings now spawning for Kimjongil, which will be able to clean it up. Oh, the medevacs pick up the remainder of the Marines, but here come the Mutalisks. They will be able to clean those up super quick. Oh no, Kimjongil, what are you doing? That's so much free supply you can just take from your opponent with an iron fist. We did have Sooch try to get in with those Mutalisks, but was denied by some Marines. So we do have more siege tanks in production. This is just a crazy, crazy game. It is 1-to-1 for yankjenets as far as upgrades. Let's see some ground units, see if we can find any. 0-to-1. I don't believe there's any ranged attacks. Looks like we're just trying to stick. Oh no, we do actually have 1-1 for Kimjongil. So it looks like CMU is going to try to set themselves up again to try to take out the Naturals, and the Mutalisks are just being obliterated by those Marines. They're doing a lot of damage, though. I'm not sure if they're focus firing the tanks or just A-moving, and it looks like CMU is just going to walk in with those Marines, and there it is. GG, an excellent, excellent game between CMU and University of Toronto. Great play from all four players. Really a fantastic game. Very, very fun to watch back and forth. So currently, CMU is in the lead 2-0 against their opponent, University of Toronto. Once again, this is game number 3. I'm Satalgis. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in game number 4.